Gordon, send more house to save the house. Come on, the house!
It is, for the very first time, Lowerhouse, and joining Phil Bird at the radio van is the former skipper, the man who lifted the cup for the very first time for Lowerhouse last season, the former skipper Matt Hope, together with the current skipper who is about to, or already has, lifted the Lancashire League crown. That's Joe Beneduce, and they're joining Phil now.
Yeah, welcome back to Rawtenstall. Fantastic win for Lowerhouse. They've won here today by 52 runs. As you say, joining me, the skipper Joe Beneduce and Matt Hope. Let's start with Joe. Lowerhouse, Lancashire League champions 2005. How does that sound?
Sounds pretty good, that, doesn't it? We're absolutely delighted to finally get the trophy that's eluded us for so long. We managed to build on last year's Wales Cup win and really give the league a massive effort this year. And I think we've probably deserved the win. We've probably been the best side in the league this year, and we managed to win it with 2 games to spare. So we're absolutely overjoyed.
Yeah, and today you knew it was a tricky game against Rawtenstall, and I guess they were going along nicely, needing 210 to win. Were you worried?
I wasn't really worried. Like you say, it was a tricky game going in. They beat us twice last year in the league. Probably, I think they were the only side last year to beat us twice. So we know coming into this game that it's going to be a tough game. We probably didn't get as many as we thought we would get at one stage with the start that Jonathan and Vishal gave us, and then Bless carried that on. But we managed to post a decent score in the end, and on that wicket, 210 proved very difficult to get. With the bowling attack that we've got, I always fancied us to take wickets, and that's probably what stemmed the runs in the end. The odd wicket that fell at the right time for us. Matt and Jonathan Finch and Chris Benbow bowled excellently, supported by Jonathan Russell and the pro. So we were always in the box seat as far as I was concerned, and I thought we were always comfortable.
Yeah, strong side week in, week out. You've really done well, particularly the top 3. They've all got over 500 runs this season. That's made a big difference. Yeah,
the top 3 of Jonathan, Vishal and Chris Blezard have all got 500 runs. Chris Benbow's chipped in with probably nearly 300. I'm pushing 250. Pankaj has got nearly 300 runs. I don't think there'll be many other sides in the league that can boast that sort of batting lineup. And with Andrew MacDonald here, we're always going to bowl sides out. Unfortunately, he's not here to collect the trophy with us.
Yeah, word about Andrew. He's played ever so well for you this season.
It's been fantastic. There are probably a few people doubting his talents after the last season and the fact that he went home injured early, but nobody at Lowerhouse has got a bad word to say about Andrew MacDonald. He's a fantastic player, fantastic bloke, and we dearly hope to have him back next year.
What about this man? 5 wickets for Matt Hope today?
Yeah, Matt probably feels he's been a bit under ball this year. He's giving me the odd elbow after the odd game, but he knows that with a pro bowling 15-16 overs every week, there's not always enough overs to go around everyone. But he showed today that given the conditions, he can still turn it on and win the game for us. Which as probably a second or third change bowler, with respect, he's fantastic to have in your armoury.
Yeah, let's have a word with him. 5 wickets for you today, big man.
Yeah, saved it till the end. No, I enjoyed it. We're good. I think the slower you bowled it on there, the better the harder it was to play. I just had to bowl it nice and straight, and it was doing a little bit, and luckily the wickets came for me.
You've played for Lowerhouse for a number of years. You know what it's like to be the only club not to have won anything. You won the Cup last year, you've won the league this year. You've put that one to bed.
We have, and I think, to be honest, it's something that the lads that are playing on the side now don't know about, because they're a lot younger than the older Wren when we all played 10 years ago. We carried that around with us, and to be honest, we went through some fairly poor stages as a team, as a club. But these lads are all a lot young, and they don't have to worry about that thing around the neck that everybody's worried about. They haven't won anything from the under-8s. They just come and enjoy the cricket, and it's a pleasure to captain them last year and play on the same side as some of the lads this year. It's been a pleasure. It's been like a breath of fresh air, and they just go out and they play, they enjoy it, they play to win, and they get the best of everybody else.
Yeah, that's the difference. You've got a winning mentality now.
We have. There's probably the Burnley game last week, which I didn't play in, unfortunately, but to drag that out of the bag, the Combe game the weekend before or the day before, whichever one it was, to win games like that is the difference between winning the league and not winning the league, and we now know how to win. A lot of that stemmed from last year, from winning the World Cup. We had the belief and the know-how to do it, and Andrew's brought this Australian mentality in like they all do, and just said that we are a good side, and if we don't believe it, then no one else will believe it. So you've got to start believing yourself and start backing yourself. That's what we've done, and Joe's done a great job with Andrew, making sure that we all know that, and we're not, like I say today, at one stage it could have looked like it was coming away for us, but we knew one wicket, bring another one, and it happened in the end, and that's what we just got to keep believing and keep working at.
Special work for the people behind the scenes. I know David Wren, the chairman, puts in a lot of work. Thinking also of your brother Jess Hope, who played for all those years without a trophy. These are special days for them.
Oh, fantastic! Yeah, like I say, it's just a shame that they can't be involved directly. Certainly, Jez, I know 7 wickets for the club, and obviously I'm glad we won the cup in his last season last year for him, which I'm sure he's happy with. And like I say, there's far too many to mention. There's your Dave and your Stan, and I'm not going to go through them all because I will miss someone and upset someone, but I don't. But there's the work that goes on there is fantastic. Everything's voluntary, everything's done for nothing, and I'm glad now that we've got the rewards, and hope we can take it one step further and just keep building on what we've done.
Excellent stuff. Let's bring Joe back in. 2 trophies in 2 years. Where do you go from here?
Well, I think we've got to start by looking to defend this one. I think that'd be pretty impressive to win it 2 times on the trot. I know Bay Cup had a pretty decent record late 90s, early 2000s. So, well, let's not get carried away with ourselves though. I mean, we've won the league for the first time. We will be looking to defend it next year, and that's as far as we're looking at this stage.
Still a youngish side, isn't it?
Still a youngish side. Yeah. We've probably got a squad that we can carry forward to next year. So, yeah, we'll be looking to defend our title next year, no question.
Excellent, lads. Well done. You deserve it. Enjoy it tonight.
Thank you.
I'm sure they will, Mark. They'll enjoy themselves tonight. It's Lowerhouse, 2005 Lancashire League champions. They've won here today by 52 runs against Rawtenstall, and they've collected a maximum 12 points.
Yeah, it's fantastic, isn't it? On the back of the cup win last year, and then to nail the league the following season. And very well spoken, both Joe and Matt there, and hiding their emotions quite well, but I'm sure they're going to have a few jars tonight.
Yeah, there's 1 or 2 tears. I mean, they've worked hard for this. You know, they've been bottom of the league a few years, haven't they? You know, been labelled with that tag, never won anything. I tell you, it's going to be quite an emotional night. They've worked hard over the last few years, and certainly deserve the success today. Yeah,
there could be success just over the border at Marshfield. Settle against Padiham. It's hotting up. I can tell you 8 to win for Padiham with the final pair at the crease off the last 3 overs. So, but it looks like we could go into win and collect 5 points at Worley. So it will probably go into next Saturday regardless. But apparently Mark Briggs is telling me off air that it could go into runs scored and wickets taken rather than there being a playoff. So it will go to some kind of average. But I think Settle could well, with a 7-point win tonight, virtually nail it. But if they lose this game now, ooh.
Yeah, it's right back in the melting pot if they lose, isn't it?
It certainly is. Let's get back across there. Okay. Phil, I don't know whether you're going to try and get 1 or 2 more interviews ahead back to the studio.
I'll try and get 1 or 2 more interviews for you. I'll try and have a word with David Wren. It's a big day for him.
Lovely. Okay. Thanks very much. That's Phil Bird, our Lancashire League cricket correspondent. No news this evening at 7 o'clock, so we've got plenty of live local league action, and it's all coming to the boil this evening here on BBC Radio Lancashire. If you were listening to us on 855, you can't hear us anymore because we've gone away, and we're still on our FM frequencies and on 1557 AM, listening to BBC Radio Lancashire's Cricket Extra with myself, Mark Harrison, sitting in for Malcolm Ashton this evening. Back to Mark Briggs. Mark, progress in the... Right at the Worswick Memorial Ground with further reaction as Lowerhouse have clinched the 2005 Lancashire League title for the first time in their history. They are the Lancashire League champions, and the cricket chairman David Wren is standing by with one of the Tripafis. I don't know whether it's young Vishal or his father Pankaj, but either way, both the all the Tripafi household, because Bharat has played a vital role as well in the Lowerhouse side, the youngest son of Pankaj this season, and they've played a remarkable role. And one of the Tripafis will be joining the cricketing chairman David Wren and our very own Phil Bird in just a short while. Very quickly through these scores, Baxterden finished 220 Well, sorry, I was going to give you yesterday's Rawtenstall League scores, but we'll avoid that. We'll give you this evening's. The last scores we had, we're just frantically updating these now. I gave them to you about 10 minutes ago. Clitheroe 204 for 8, Blackburn Northern 142 for 8 with 13 left. Earby were 82 for 7 with 9 left in reply to Edenfield's 154 for 9. Great Harwood posted 245 for 6, Baxenden with 14 left with 121 for 8. Oswald Twistle Manuel 150 for 5, Cherrytree 100 for 9 with 13 left. Reed 242 for 4, Ribblesdale Wanderers 170 for 5 with 8 left. Settle, as you've been hearing, 113 all out. Padiham 114 for 9 with 2 bowls remaining, and Ben Oldswick joined them joint leaders this evening on 109 points after winning at Whalley. Whalley 154 for 8, Ben Oldswick 159 for 6 in reply. Very quickly through the rest of the Lancashire League scores, and we'll get these updated. They are a little bit old now because we've had a lot of live action from our games this evening. And but Burnley 209 for 7, Tobberton 130 for 5 with 14 left. Church 145 for 8 with 15 left in reply to Haslemans 217 for 6. Colne made 213 for 4. We're just updating the latest Bake-Up score. East Lancs were homing in on victory about half an hour ago. 308 for 8 East Lancs scored. Accrington 161 for 9 with 15 left. Enfield at Dillhall Lane were 104 for 9 with 5 overs remaining in reply to Rishton's 1-2-3 all out. 1 point for Ramsbottom today wasn't enough. Lowerhouse won, and they needed to take at least a decent haul of points. Did Rami today to keep the race alive, but 148 all out. Nelson won with 150 for 5, taking 12 points to Rami's 1, but it was academic because Lowerhouse won the Lancashire League 209 all out, and they defeated Rawtenstall, bowling them all out and winning by 52 runs. So back to the Wordsmith Memorial Ground now. Phil Bird, as I've mentioned, is with the Lowerhouse cricket chairman David Wren. And what of the Tripathi family, Phil?
Welcome back. Yeah, welcome back to Rawtenstall. A great win for Lowerhouse today, 52 runs, and the champions of the Lancashire League. I've got David Wren, the chairman, with me. How does that sound? Champions of the Lancashire League.
I thought I'd never hear those words. Yes, absolutely wonderful. Yeah.
Special word for Andrew McDonald. Obviously, he's been a fine pro for you.
Yeah, he was a very good player and also a very intelligent player. And I think the game that stands out for me is the win at Ramsbottom when we were 12 points behind at that point, and he showed his true qualities and saw the game through in a difficult game and made sure Ramsbottom didn't get a single point, and that was excellent.
Talked about the professional. This is a good amateur side.
Yeah, they're a good blend. There's a lot of experience, and there's also a lot of good young players coming through, and it's lovely for Pancash and Chris Blezard and the older, and Matt Hope today was unbelievable. It's nice for them to come through, and so many of the players who have recently retired here today to see it, Nicky and Jez Hope and all those sort of guys. It's a great day. Yeah,
you've worked hard over a number of years, haven't you? It's not just about this season.
No, Stan, when he retired, took over the youth development side, and we brought through a lot of good young players, and the more you have in the club, the more that want to come and join us, and he's done a marvellous job bringing them through, and it augurs well for the coming years.
Just ignoring the man to your right-hand side, it's still quite a young side. He's laughing, I'm all right.
Yes, but I thought at the start of the season, if Pancash could win us 2 or 3 games, then he was well worth his place in the side. And I remember the Enfield game and the Rawtenstall game that wasn't to be. But he put in performances that were match winning, as did all the side.
Yeah. Last week was a big week, wasn't it? You were 0 for 2 against Burnley. You looked down and out, but you got home somehow.
Yeah, great spirit in the side and also in the club. Over the years we've been a very close-knit club, and that showed in the spirit in the side. That's come through week by week, and they've all done a job, and it's come to fruition today, which is absolutely marvellous.
You've got to keep hold of them all now, haven't you? Keep them at the club.
Yes, yeah, and there's some good young 15-year-olds coming through as well, and Joe Hawke and Kieran and all these guys pushing for places, so that can only be good.
Let's have a word with him. Pancash Tripathi. You were running up with Lowerhouse back in 82, ironically, to Rawtenstall. It must be a great day for you.
Absolutely fantastic. There's been absolutely loads and loads of people who've either been involved playing-wise or watching, supporting us. So many guys have said in the past that, are we going to win it? Are we going to win it? And in the past, I've just felt as though we weren't quite good enough. But this year, before we started the first game, I asked everybody to put a bet on, because I just had a feeling that we're going to win the championship this year. We've done it, quite at ease if you think about it. I mean, we've still got 2 more games to go yet. Hopefully, we can pick up extra points. Might even end up with the most number of points ever in the league.
Yeah, you've only lost 4 times, so that record's up for grabs. It must be extra special because Vishal and Barrett have played a part.
Well, I'm not really too excited about my sons playing in the same team. I'm not. I mean, it's an English thing, is that, where fathers want to play with their sons, but when we play with our sons in India, we get called all sorts of names, that you're an old man now, and, pack it in, let the kids play. Your time's up. But so I'm not too excited about, playing with the kids or anything. I'm not over excited about it, but yes, it's, I suppose, it's a nice thing to have kid doing well.
Yeah, you've won things though, haven't you? You've won things at Padiham, and you've had a spell away from the club. This is a winning side now, isn't it? The mentality's right.
Mentality is fantastic. I said it at the beginning of the season that in this dressing room, every corner is looked after. With the kind of players that we've got, they all take pride in their performances, and they all know what they're doing. To me, I didn't see many holes in that side where I could say that this is the area we need to plug in. But this year, I expected, to be honest with you, over the 26 games, I expected the championship. I really did expect that.
Yeah, and you've done it. Well done. Excellent. Well done. Let's just finish with David. Presentation next Sunday. That's going to be a bit special. You're going to have to get some old friends back, aren't you?
Yeah, there'll be a lot of people there, hopefully, and we'll have a special function sometime close after the season. And there's a lot of people that have put a lot of work into the club, and it'll be a special day for them.
Excellent. Enjoy it. Well done to you both. What's another word? Sorry.
Just saying, next week, get all the supporters down. We'll throw something together. I'm sure we will. I'm going to twist Chairman's arm here. We'll have something special going on next week to celebrate it all, to bring the trophy back to our club. If anybody concerned with Lowerhouse or anybody else, who wants to have a good time, just get there.
Yeah, it'll be a big day for you next week. Well done, lads. Congratulations. So, Lowerhouse, we have another hug.
Fantastic.
It's a bit emotional, Mark, I've got to say that, but Lowerhouse are the champions of the Lancashire League. They've won it finally after all these years.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic. Couldn't be pleased. A really lovely club, and they've fought problems off the field with potentially being thrown out of their own ground. And I know David Wren, who you've just spoken to there, the chairman, has worked really hard in making sure that they stay at Liverpool Road.
Yeah, they've had a real struggle, as you say, with the landlord. Yeah, they nearly won the title back in '97, if you remember. It was, I think, a 4-horse race going into the last game. Haslingden eventually won it. Lowerhouse were very, very close. And you wondered if that was their last chance, because things started to go sour at the end of that century. They didn't look like they were going to have a home. There was talk about sharing with Burnley, looking for a new place to play. And then all of a sudden, David Wren, working hard behind the scenes, has been able to establish a rapport with the landlord. They've extended the stay at Liverpool Road. And now, lo and behold, won the cup last year.
Won the league.
And the league this year. It comes all at once, doesn't it?
Fantastic. I'm sure David will be the first person to say he doesn't do it all on his own. There's plenty of people behind the scenes, and a great youth policy as well.
Yeah. My young lad comes on a Wednesday evening, and the place is absolutely swamped with kids.
Yeah, fantastic.
He struggles to get a game because there's that many talented youngsters in and around the side that Stan Eaton just works 7 days a week organising these sides. And they're doing well. There's some very good kids coming through. Jack McGregor's only 15.
Yeah.
And I've seen a stumping today that's absolutely top class.
Yeah.
When he dismissed Chris Cook-Martin at a very vital stage.
Yeah.
He's going to play cricket at a higher level. I'm absolutely certain
he's keeping
of that.
to all kinds of bowlers, isn't he?
Yeah.
MacDonald.
Yeah, not easy here. I mean, it's been a difficult track. Yet he's been almost immaculate.
Yeah, Mike Donald earlier on this season with his pace bowling.
Yeah.
You've got Benbow with his off spin, and then you've got the medium paces like Matt Hope, where he stands up to the.
Yeah, he does.
Wicket.
Matt Hope bowled off spin today and bowled well. And Jonathan Finch is a fantastic prospect.
Of course,
yeah. He struggled really to get up the order at Nelson. He's come here. He's got over 500 runs.
Yep.
He's a very, very good change bowler.
Yep.
He came on and got 3 wickets today at a crucial stage. They've got to keep hold of him, because 1 or 2 clubs, I'm sure, will be interested in 1 or 2 other leagues and trying to engage Jonathan Finch. He looks a fantastic cricketer. If they can keep this side together, Lowerhouse will challenge in the next 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, just stay with us. I'll go through the Lancashire League scores, and then we'll have a bit of a chat about the Ribblesdale League, Phil. Burnley at Turf Moor, 209 for 7. Ben Law with 82 of those. Tommerden 187 for 7 with 4 overs remaining, so a good finishing prospect there. No news of the Church reply against Haslden, and Haslden racked up 217 for 6. The sub-pro, who I'm not even going to try to pronounce, got a century there today. And Church was struggling at about 140 odd for 8 from memory the last time we heard, so it looks as though Haslden are going to win there. At the Horsefield, a good finish here. Colne 213 for 4. It looks as though they've just arrived for you there in the background, Phil.
Yeah, unfortunately that's an ambulance just passing on Bacup Road, so there's no problem
serious.
there. Yeah, very noisy road. I mean, I've got a bit of a headache today, to be honest. It's been a very, very noisy crowd. They brought a lot, did Lowerhouse.
I can assure you, coming away from Rawtenstall with a headache is a minor problem after my exploits on Thursday.
Yeah, we haven't talked about that yet.
No,
we must make a note of that.
We'll avoid it.
Mr. Robbins getting Peter Wood, the Lancashire League legend.
I tell you what, Mr. Robbins' off-spin, it made Mura Lithran's action look a little bit dodgy, to say the least.
All right. There's an inquiry, is that the same?
Great bowling, yes.
Oh, well, we didn't do too badly.
Somebody else got 3 wickets as well. And I don't know who that was. In and over.
Right, in and over. Very good. But excellent stuff.
But then after getting clapped off the field, came into bat at number 4 and embarrassed himself.
Well, you can't have it always, can you?
No.
The bowling took care of itself. The batting, well, never mind.
Quite. 213 for 4 were Colne at the Horsefield. Bacup in reply, 202 for 9 with 3 overs left.
Yeah, Bacup have had a mixed season. I mean, we heard from Joe Beneduce, who was saying Bacup, won it 3 years on the bounce.
Yeah.
You've got to just try and remember that, because it seems a long time ago.
Yeah.
They've struggled a little bit this year, but I'm sure they'll regroup, have a look around and, bring in 1 or 2 new faces. And I think Bacup will be up there challenging in years to come.
Yep, I don't think they're far off the mark. I think David Ormond taking on the captaincy is possibly taking on a little bit too much.
Yeah, they lost 1 or 2 names, didn't he? And Griffin's it's just struggled a touch, hasn't he? I saw the lads the other week, and they said, well, he's not found the right line and length.
Yeah.
What was worrying, it was almost nearly the end of August when I saw them, so, that tells you something.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not been the Australian summer.
Let's hope that continues.
Yeah, let's hope.
Alexander Meadows, East Lancs 308 for 8, Accrington 151 all out, so a comprehensive win there for East Lancs.
Strange one, isn't it, how, these big scores keep coming along, yet they're followed by, a disappointing performance.
Yeah.
There's no level of consistency, I guess, week in, week out.
Yeah.
They'll put that right, I'm sure. They'll put that right. There's got some real talent at the club.
Yeah, I think strength in depth is a little bit of a concern for East Lancs, and also getting a professional that can stay the full season. But there's 1 or 2 sides that know that of late. But
I tell you what, it becomes a bigger problem every season, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
I spoke to David Wren off air, and he had a real problem this week. Shane Harwood was booked to play today. Fantastic player, great effort for him this season at St Anne's. But on Friday morning, he had to shy off because St Anne's had rearranged a game, and they were playing today in the 2020.
Yeah, the Northern League.
And then he was without a pro, so he's had to ring round and put in a lot of effort just to engage somebody. And he's come up with Kenroy Williams today, so it's getting harder and harder for our clubs.
Dillhall Lane, Enfield 107 all out in reply to Rishton's 123 all out.
Yeah, again, been a bit of a mixed season, hasn't it? A lot of these clubs are going to have a look over the winter, I'm sure.
One cricketer who's really impressed me that I've seen a couple of times this season is the all-rounder at Rishton, Richard Rostron, who's the stepson of Peter Sleep.
Yeah, he's won an award in July, hasn't he, for Lancashire League Cricketer of the Month.
Yeah, he's bowled.
Didn't think he could bowl. I didn't think he could bowl, and all of a sudden, he's opening the bowling and bowling very well.
Yeah.
Rishton have had a decent season on the quiet, haven't they?
Yeah.
They were unlucky to lose in that semi-final when John Henderson hit that big 6 off the last ball. They could have been Worsley Cup finalists on another day.
They could, yeah.
Hopefully they'll hope that Peter Sleep has another season. If they can get Darmasina back, he's been a fantastic pro for them.
They've offered him terms.
Yeah.
So
Who's to say Rishton can't be up there in the top 4 next season?
I know. I think we've got virtually all 14 clubs there at the moment, Phil, with you.
Well, yeah, I try and be diplomatic. I haven't said it about Accrington yet, have I? No.
I think Mr. Stockley will be listening.
I think he will. He's somewhere around here. They've had a difficult season, a lot of defeats. And once you lose, you keep losing weekend after weekend, it becomes...
And I think the two victories were back to back as well.
They were, weren't they? Nelson and Haslin, I think, off memory.
Yes.
And they came as a bit of a surprise, and you wondered if they'd turn the tide, but I'm afraid they haven't.
Talking about Nelson, Nelson 150 for 5 in reply to Ramsbottom's 148 all out. So victory for Nelson there, and they're homing in on possibly nicking Ramsbottom for the second place.
Yeah,
in
I
Ireland
said
Cup.
to everybody here, there are some nervous people here. I said, you know, I'm absolutely certain Nelson will win today against Ramsbottom. You know, I've seen them in recent weeks, and you know they've got some good young kids. They've perhaps all come through at once, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
That it means that the side's become a little bit inexperienced. But Michael Bradley's done really well there. He was very, very pleased last week when I saw him. They easily defeated Colne. They've won against Ramsbottom today. Nelson have had a decent season, you know, with a lot of changes. The Lemons left last season, after last season, and they were difficult to replace. They should be pleased. They're in third spot at the moment, and they could go closer yet.
Yeah, and hopefully Nathan Horitz will be returning.
Yeah, he's had an injury problem, has he? He's had to go in with that wrist injury. That's worried him for a while now. So let's hope he's okay.
And finally, of course, Lowerhouse winning your game by 52 runs at Rawtenstall. Rawtenstall putting up a good fight though today, bowling Lowerhouse out and a couple of stages during their reply, promising to get up past the post.
Definitely, yeah. Up until sort of 6:30, it was very much game on, and they were missing Peter Seal today. They were missing Richard Wood. You know, take those two players out of any side, and they'd struggle. So they put up a decent fight, I thought, today. The one wicket was Damon Hansen. As he got going, you were a little bit worried that he could take the game away from Lowerhouse, but as soon as they got him out, you really did fancy Lowerhouse in those closing stages.
So it's congratulations to Lowerhouse, winning the Lancashire League title for the very first time, clinching the 2005 Lancashire League crown, and a big thank you to Rawtenstall, especially for hosting the Floodlit tournament and hosting ourselves on Thursday night.
Yeah, and a big thanks today, Mark, because you know, it is a struggle getting on here. Keith Roscoe was fantastic getting me on the ground. I just hope somebody's around to get me off.
Yeah, and a big thank you as well to their skipper Vinnie Hansen, who was one of the protagonists who massaged one of my calves. Don't
want to go into that if you don't mind, Mark.
On Thursday, I know. It's
before the watershed, if you don't mind.
OK, thanks very much, Phil. We've raised over £330 for children in need on Thursday, so thank you to everyone who turned up. There was well over 100 spectators watching, God knows why. But
and I promise, Mark, you know, I'll even take a day off next year.
Yes, don't worry. I will be having a word with Mrs. Bird in
it's
due
not
course.
Mrs. Bird. Mrs. Bird's not the problem. It's working all over the country that's the problem, I'm afraid.
Yes, quite. All right, thanks very much, Phil, and thanks for your efforts today in bringing us that historic occasion, Lowerhouse clinching the Lancashire League title.
No problem. It's been a fantastic day for everybody here.
Order! Send more house to save the house.